my eyes turned back to the file. One by one, I started flipping through the pages and confirming the names. And suddenly, I came across a page that was filled with question marks.
Ultimate Imposter.
Every section was filled with question marks. It could barely be considered a student profile. On that page, I was only able to confirm one thing. Ultimate Imposter? And he was among us?
That's Byakuya's true identity.
True identity.
He was a fake that was pretending to be the ultimate. Hab ich's nicht gecallt, dass es ein Fake ist?
Ja, alles andere hat doch irgendwo keinen Sinn gemacht, ne?
I just fucking knew it. I knew it was a fake. Damn it, I'm good.
Du hast gut geraten.
Geraten. Ich kenn doch mal, also bitte.
Wir können doch mal in Bakura.
Ja, eben. The fact that his profile is filled with question marks, or high marks, isn't a mistake or an oversight. Surprisingly enough, that's the correct information regarding him. The ultimate imposter has no name, no permanent address, and even his age and gender is unknown.
Dann sag nicht his, sondern there.
Basically, he doesn't exist. Also halt dieser Byakuya existiert nicht.
Dieser Imposter existiert
Dieser
nicht.
Byakuya existiert nicht.
Dieses dicke Ding existiert nicht, genau.
Byakuya existiert nicht. Because he doesn't exist, he's able to exist as anybody. So Schrödingers Byakuya oder was?
Nein, also es gibt diese Person schon.
Ja, aber
er ist halt nicht Byakuya.
Ja, klar. That's his talent. No, I'm not jealous of that at all.
That person wasn't really Byakuya Togami?
Perhaps.
Is that why he was so much fatter compared to when he was involved in the... Yep, vermutlich.
Apparently.
So cool.
His physique doesn't affect his ability to fool others at all. Real imposters are skilled like that.
Which doesn't make any sense, because if he's so fat, it would be the obvious giveaway. Then he was lying to us the whole time.
But still.
But he couldn't help it.
What? Why couldn't he help it?
Oh.
'Cause that was his talent.
Uh?
Well, having talent means you're also bound to that talent. The moment you obtain talent, your way of life has already been chosen for you. You can't do anything else except rely on that talent. Regardless of whether you want that life or not. In that sense, compared to the other ultimates, your life might be a bit more liberating.
What the fuck?
Anyway.
Anyway, I'm not happy that you guys fell for a scam that I had nothing to do with.
That's right.
So I tell you straight up, this revelation about Byakuya is exactly the truth.
Then, what was he trying to say to me at that time?
Based on the context, if I had to guess,
No.
maybe he was just complaining that he was cursed to wander the earth as nothing more than a fraud. But if you guys had your school memories, you never would have been betrayed in the first place. I mean, it'd be different if you were meeting him for the first time. But since you guys went on a Hope's Peak Academy, you should have known about the Ultimate Imposter already.
So in the end, it all leads back to memory loss.
Jeez, the Future Foundation sure is awful. There's no way you should ignore Monami or the traitor.
Who is it? Who's the traitor? Just from looking at these 16 profiles, I still wouldn't know who's from the Future Foundation. Is there really someone like that?
Well, obviously you wouldn't know. I made that file so you guys couldn't find out.
Could it be?
It's just as I thought. You're the one who did it.
Hey,
The fact that there are 16 profiles in there is what's wrong. I mean, the traitor is a spy sent by the Future Foundation, not a student from Hope Speak Academy.
You made a fake profile for the traitor and included it in here?
correct.
It wouldn't be fun if you figured out who the traitor was so easily, right?
Hey.
Then we can't use this file to figure out who the traitor is. That was true for Nagito too, right? Well, probably. It is tripping with despair, isn't it? You wasted your precious time on something that isn't a clue.
Are you sure about this?
Was that a wise decision? Time's up, you know.
Time's up. Wait.
Excuse me for a moment.
Das kriegen wir nicht gelöst.
Nee, das ist...
Ich meine, ja, wir haben jetzt endlich mal in die Akte gucken können, aber war ja wieder klar, dass da nicht genug drin steht.
ja.
Meine Fresse.
Wir wissen einiges, aber doch nix.
That chime just now.
What is most important for living things?
To
Well,
die.
personally, I think time is. I mean, your bank account may go up and down, but time will inevitably run out, right? That's why we gotta cherish time. There is nothing more wasteful than wasting time. So, time's up. We will begin the last class trial. So please gather at Monokuma Rock.
Moment.
How are you sure it's the last class trial?
Wenn das der letzte Class Trial ist. Das heißt, dann würden wir theoretisch auch noch in den Chapter 6 übergehen.
So wie letztes Mal.
Ja. Aber das würden wir von der Zeit her nicht hinkriegen.
Nee. Oh Mann.
Alter, das ist
Aber
assi,
jetzt
ey.
wird jetzt schon langsam kritisch, dass wenn wir jetzt noch das Trial machen. Aber gut, wir müssen jetzt auch nicht mehr so viel reden.
Ja klar, aber...
Wir müssen bloß noch die Rüber anstrengen.
Boah,
Aber,
sorry.
aber vorher will er wissen, dass es, ja, ich meine, abgesehen von Fourth Wall Breaking, ey Leute, ihr seid beim letzten Mordfall angekommen. Danach kommt bloß noch der Plot-Twist und dann kriegt er raus, wer hier wirklich die Fäden zieht.
I'll see you soon.
Fuck off. The last class trial?
Gottes Willen.
He said that, right? He said last class trial, not last Christmas or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard it too. He really did say it was the last class trial.
What do you think? Should we believe him?
An sich hat er ja nicht gelogen. Also hat er ja nie gelogen, ne?
Ja, er hat immer nur die Wahrheit ein bisschen verschleiert.
Ja, wobei am Ende ist es halt the last class trial.
Was standardmäßig abläuft.
Genau. Und dann ist er dann halt bloß noch... Ja, verbinde die Punkte. Monokuma seemed anxious about the Monokuma timer earlier, right? 2 more days. Ja, und allzu viele Tage hätten wir ja dann auch nicht. Weil in 2 Tagen dann, also nach dem Trial, nochmal 2 Tage, das geht nicht. Das muss ineinander überlaufen.
Ja, das muss ein bisschen überlaufen. Wenn, dann wird überhaupt der Timer sowieso knapp, weil wir wissen, wie viel Zeit wir da unten mit Diskutieren verbringen.
Ja.
Und dann, tja,
Ja, dann hätten wir bloß noch einen Tag und den müssten wir dann halt nutzen.
um hier runterzukommen von der Insel.
And he said something about the killing school trip ending, right?
Based on the time limit, this might definitely be the last one.
still.
But I can't imagine that it's the real end. Ja, das ist...
Ich meine, vor allem, ja, so entweder so wie Kazuichi sagt, ne, dann dürfen wir alle nach Hause gehen, oder ist aber einfach vorbei, weil die ganze Insel einfach in die Luft gesprengt wird.
Ja.
Oder irgendwann in die Richtung.
I think Monokuma's real plan might be just beyond that.
His real plan? Is Monokuma still planning to make us do something? What could it be? Maybe after putting us through all this, he's planning to kill the remaining survivors all at once?
Well,
But still, it's also not a good idea to think about it too much, I think. I think we should focus on the class trial that's waiting for us first.
You're right. A class trial for Nagito's murder. We're pretty screwed.
Yep.
I haven't collected my thoughts because we were so focused on this file. I still can't see who killed Nagito.
but still.
Well, you don't have to worry so much. Yeah, because I don't know it either.
Right?
I mean, you're not fighting this alone, you know? Compared to the other people, I do fight this alone.
Naja.
Die einzigen, die halt wirklich...
Chiaki und Hajime machen das halt wirklich ziemlich alleine jetzt.
Ja, und die einzigen, die halt glänzen, sind Sonja.
Und Akane, wenn sie mal wieder einen guten Moment hat.
Naja, aber auch viel zu selten.
Und die anderen sind ja alle viel zu früh verreckt, um mal wirklich leuchten zu können.
Genau. Ach, sometimes it's so hard to be a main character.
Mhm. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Did he hear that?
We're not alone.
Can they see us?
Hi! Even if it's a mystery that can't be solved alone, as long as everyone cooperates and works together? Ja, der hat uns abgehört.
Crap.
Yeah, if we do that, things will turn out fine. Let's fucking go! To Monokuma Rock.
Rock. Oh, möchten Sie die Einrastfunktion aktivieren? Nein, möchte ich nicht, halt's Maul.
Will die Ausrastfunktion aktivieren. Tequila.
Das ist bescheuert.
Aber mach ruhig. Finde ich gut. Gehört dazu, ne?
Ja, natürlich, ne?
Guck mal, wie viele das noch sind.
Wie viele das so sind? Damn right. Looks like everyone's here. Hey, where's Nugget? Oh, right.
Huh? This is it? Shouldn't there be more people? Oh yeah, Nagito died. Scheiße.
Damn it.
Stop it, you're making me depressed.
You're making me depressed.
I'm super depressed.
So, it is going to happen again. A cruel conflict. Maybe we must doubt our friends.
but once we're through with this, we can go back, right?
That's right.
That Monokuma bastard said so, didn't he? He said this is the last class trial.
Damn it.
But we've been tricked every step of the way. There's no way I can believe that so easily.
Of course not.
Why can't you believe it? The guy who's making us do all this is the one saying it, you know? Yeah, that's exactly the point. That's why I'll definitely survive.
Do you?
If we can really go home after we deal with this class trial, I'll definitely find out who the killer is no matter what, even if I have to pull out all the stops. But you're gonna start thinking?
You don't pull anything. What the fuck are you here?
You haven't realized it yet? That feeling of wanting to leave this island, thinking like that is Monokuma's trap, you know?
Huh?
Huh? What are you saying?
Got it?
There's no way Monokuma will end things here. He's planning something far worse.
Ah, stop trying to jinx us!
I'll beat you up.
You're right, stupid rabbits should just shut up. Everyone, you mustn't run away from despair.
Huh?
I have finally realized, after using my powers, I've realized that cursing your powerlessness or your fate accomplishes nothing. The possibility may be small, like me, but as long as there's a possibility, you must face it. In order to become someone who can be proud of yourself. So I will fight.
Okay.
Huh?
What's her deal? I do not really know, but she seems different from before.
Maybe she read a self-help book.
Könnt's auch sowas gebrauchen.
Wait.
But her eyes, she looked so determined.
You.
What can you tell just by looking at those button eyes?
Uh,
Anyway, make sure you turn off Minimaru. It'd be annoying if he started talking during the trial.
Oh, fine.
but still.
Somehow, I understand what Monomi is saying, I think.
Anyway, let's get going to the last class trial.
You're right. We need to fight as much as we can. No matter what hopeless truth awaits us in the end.
This is the end.
My only friend, the end.
I kept saying those words to myself over and over within my mind. I entered Monokuma Rock.
Dead. Everyone's dead. Wow.
This elevator ride. This'll be the last time for this too, right?
Alter, wie wenig das einfach erstmal so ein bisschen. I hope so.
Well,
Let's worry about things after we're finished.
you are right.
More importantly, we must focus on the class trial before us. The killer managed to kill someone like Nagito. There's no way this is going to be smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us was able to do that. Nagito was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, during the Funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him. Kinda, yeah. But even if he's gone, the ones who survived need to stand and fight. We must fight. And then the door slowly opened. This bright light greeting us. Is that the light of hope? Or the light of despair?
Well now,
Well then, now that the Chatterbox Nagito is gone, there are only 6 of you left.
Shut the hell up!
Enough, just fucking start this already.
Hey!
Hey, this is it, right? This is really the last class trial, right?
Yep.
Yep, it sure is. So, you gotta show some enthusiasm and make sure you give it your all.
All right.
Didn't I tell you? He said it! This is the end!
Now then.
Let's get this trial started.
Viva killing!
This is the last class trial. Let's show some enthusiasm and kill each other.
This is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. That curtain is about to rise. Nagito Komaeda, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy. He came across as very sociable.
Even though I just punched him in the face.
But his true nature held such a demented thought process that was nothing like his outward appearance. He was total nuts.
Nutty Nagito.
He said he believed in hope more than anything else. He said he was yearning for a powerful hope that can overcome any despair. He said he would even help despair just to prove that hope will never lose to despair. And he said he'd become a stepping stone for hope. His way of thinking was completely screwed up. But there were also times he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. That was the end of him. And I have no idea at all who did it, but there's no way we can end this without knowing. We will be consumed by despair. That's why we absolutely have to find out. The person who finished off Nagito. The killer who murdered Nagito. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. And if Monokuma says this is really the last class trial, that's all the more reason we need to do this. And so, this life-threatening trial billowing with hope and despair, the last one, has begun.
Not ready.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Das ist ja so noch nie vorgekommen.
Boah, Nagitos Cross.
Einfach überall chaotisch, ja. Können auch einfach nur die Speere, also eine Speere
Gundam, natürlich, der kriegt so ein X.
Der kriegt richtig X. Der muss wieder übertreiben, ne?
Wie sieht es bei Nekomodo aus? Okay.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Fällt jemand auf?
Monomi baumelt nicht.
Richtig.
Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
The ancient Japanese legend of the moon rabbit. Ui.
One more time. Jeez, how about this one? This will be my final blow. It's useless.
Oder?
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Because he's stupid, yes.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or...
Warte mal.
Here we go again.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No, were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
Okay, nochmal gucken, was wir uns zur Auswahl haben.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to
Guck
shut him
mal.
up. I'm
Plushies,
telling you, they were
panels,
torturing him.
count, torture
The
wounds.
reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
Achso, nein, damit. Ach, damit. Weil ich wollte gerade sagen, ja, der Tod war ja so gegen Nun und alles. Was in der Akte steht.
Gegen nun, es war Punkt 12 Uhr.
Ja, Punkt 12 Uhr. Und dann hatten wir ja nicht. Da war so, ja, hier, er kann es ja nicht gewesen sein. Okay, ja. Sorry. Stupid.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
Es ist ja jetzt schon zu schwierig.
So, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
Warte.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way
Bei
I'd
Akane
torture someone.
Akane reinprügeln. Oder who found it first? Kann nicht sein, weil Fuyo hat zuerst die Bomben entdeckt. Kann aber nicht sein, weil Punkt 12 war das mit dem Todsein. Das ist mit dem.
Didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm
Ja,
telling you, they were
probieren wir.
reason Nagito's body.
It's because the killer.
So that's what were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
Was? Wir sind sowas von am Arsch.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured.
No, that's wrong.
Ja, stimmt, jetzt macht's
But
Sinn.
Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
Genau das meine ich.
Ja.
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
Das geht schnell.
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Deine Mutter ist eine Trap.
Hä? What?
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Stupid? Help me?
Hä? I don't know.
Like you said, Nagito's mouth was... You obviously assumed he couldn't talk, but that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. I can't back down.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This first, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him, they duct taped his mouth shut.
Damn it!
After der Kette würde doch gar keinen Sinn mehr machen.
Moment.
Kazuichi ist halt so bescheuert. Nee. Das müssen sie ihm draufgepackt haben, bevor er verreckt ist, weil dann hätte sich ja auch das Tape nicht mehr in seinen Mund reingelegt.
Eben.
Also nicht after they killed him.
Also mit dem Duct Tape hier oder was?
Ja.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it... First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the... Then, after they killed him...
Allow me to cut through those words.
Ah, ow.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
Ooh.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors. We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Ooh.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Oh, careful, it's learning. Are you in elementary school or something? I mean,
Baby?
erstens stimmt das gar nicht und zweitens
Na und?
You were
It's
with
unser
us when I
Waifu.
peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
Woohoo.
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
Ooh.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth.
Ooh.
He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Ooh.
Das ist so bescheuert. Ich sehe jetzt schon das Thumbnail vor mir und den...
Perhaps the duct tape was used so we wouldn't be able to scream.
Ooh.
Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer? If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
Sagt die Psycho auf ihn gegangen ist.
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
Hmm? The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
Akane, das hatten wir doch schon vor Ort festgestellt. Hat die nicht zugehört?
Ja,
Nee? Das wäre ein klasse Trinkspiel für ihn ist. Einen kurzen. Ja, nee. Du wärst tot in 2 Minuten.
When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Auch Sonja, die hier nicht im Bild ist. Das stimmt.
And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is.
But you have to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason for the fire, huh? They're right. We need to clear that up first.
Die Panels. Ja, da. Aha. Ooh.
You just had to do that.
The direct
Yep.
cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
Yeah.
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter. Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way? Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Nope.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
Yep.
Sonia! Alter, die ist wirklich MVP in dem Ganzen.
Wenn sie eventuell ist.
I also
Ja.
agree that opening the
Aber
door
ganz,
is what started the fire.
ganz ehrlich, wir hatten bisher so viele. Ja, I agree with that. So viele Bestätigungen mit Sonja.
Sonja ist nicht dumm, das hat man nie gesagt, ne?
Nö, das
Die war
nicht.
immer eine gute Hilfe.
Ja.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
You were saying?
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels.
Probably was the wind.
Ich meine, Staubteufel oder
A
so
huge
liebtes
number
Jahr,
of
ist ja wirklich ein
tipped-over
Begriff.
Monokuma panels were
Hätte
found
sein
at the crime
können.
scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
Nicht nur Kinder.
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second.
Guck mal, wie glücklich er aussieht. Yay!
Aber guck mal, so wie halt, ne? Der Curtain, der ist da und Nagito ist da weit weg. Wie krass muss denn das da gebrannt haben, dass da irgendwie das Seil irgendwie mit verschmort ist? Wenn das so weit weg liegt. Weil ja die Frage kam so, ja, wenn das Seil verbrannt ist, wie kann es das dann sein Ärmel?
Sein Ärmel war ja dann sauber.
Ja.
Vielleicht ist das Seil ja langsam verbrannt und war irgendwo am Curtain. Und gerade als die Sprinkler anging, da hat es dann das Feuer ausgemacht. Hat er Glück gehabt, dass er nicht weiter beschädigt wurde. Who
And
knows?
from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
To hide?
Den Domino-Effekt zu verbergen. Warte mal, der MP3-Player war doch laut eingestellt, ne?
Ach ja, stimmt, da hat man es nicht gehört, das ist so klack, 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 klack und alles.
Genau.
I see.
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume.
Guck mal auf Hajimes Artwork, ne? Die Augen. Sieht ein bisschen sehr aggro aus. Und
Schlimmer
Kazuo...
als Fuyuhiko. Selbst Fuyuhiko hat Angst.
Ja, so ein bisschen hier, wie bei Naruto hier dieses Sage-Jutsu, dieses Sage-State, wo ja die Augen so ein bisschen komisch werden.
Ja.
Und Kazuichi so, was? Nee. Yeah, guys, do something here.
Ja, das hatten wir ja schon. Das
Ja.
Flashback. It suddenly started. Hooray!
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling. But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
No, not a problem.
We're fine.
That was going on.
That's not over.
So the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel. And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Das mit dem Glück würde immerhin zu Nagitos Ultimate passen. Ja, stimmt. Dann hat er noch Glück gehabt, dass er nicht als Feuerleiche geendet ist.
Stimmt.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door. Because the panel was blocking it, right? With the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse. I see. So the problem Chiaki's talking about is...
The killer couldn't have left?
Yeah. Basically.
I see. If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used. You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
You don't mean...
But if that's true... Nah. This murder.
Hold on.
Nah.
Moment.
Nee, das funktioniert doch nicht.
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. Nagito?
This is my answer. What if it was Nagito?
I am so fucking confused.